It's the 5.5 star review with Binti Love for the HBO special with James Acaster, Hecklers. It's definitely something to watch. Now, I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. Okay. All right. Okay. So, point number 1, let me just comment and say I love his emerald green sweatshirt with yellow sneakers. You know, I love how comedians, when they do something with their wardrobe, they're like, okay, let me be hilarious and bring my comedy into my wardrobe and my wardrobe into my comedy, right, guys? Okay. So, point number 2. Yeah, let me report. Stage presence is important, guys. Yeah, him just holding the microphone. I understand. So he was like, walking around with the microphone. Like, you see the microphone I have here. Microphone, I understand, in his hand. Yeah. It kind of looked unprofessional a little bit and weird, because we don't normally see that. But yet, overall, he had great stage presence. So, I'm not going to too much hold that against him. Yeah. But I was kind of like, why is he walking around with the microphone and the stand all around, It's like walking around, stuff like that. So that was kind of weird, but he pulled it off, apparently. Okay, now point number 3, my criticism is his jokes were not really relatable. Now, what do I mean by not really relatable? It's kind of like you sit there, like, like, what are you talking about? Yeah. Also, he had a lot of mumbling, So, I felt like that was not really always what it was needed, but he kind of did some mumbling and things of that sort. But, so yeah, that would be my criticism, is that, some of his jokes were just not relatable, you know what I mean? And there was a little mumbling. But again, overall, he pulled through with all this. Now, point number 4, the MVP moment. And now again, you know what the MVP moment is? It's the moment where you're like, okay, this is why I'm sitting here and I'm watching this. I'm watching this because of this one factor. Like, especially when I go live. Now, this is on HBO, guys. But when you're live, you want to see a person that you're like, okay, this is a good person to see, and, on my outing and things like sort and review. And there's that little pivotal moment where you're like, okay, this is why I got out of bed. This is why I got out of bed, and this is why I was like, okay, this is the moment here. And that's the MVP moment. And for him, it was him saying he's a random dude. We're all random. I'm a random girl. He's a random guy. And everything he knows about yoga is in public information online. And that was funny, because we don't always go to yoga classes, But he does. We know. I feel like he keeps himself abreast to the situation by, knowing what's, yoga online. Like, I definitely do yoga, but, so he knows about that. And it was funny. When you watched it, you realize why I thought it was funny. Okay, moving on to point number 5. Now, the most loving moment is when he talks about him being 4 years old. So, he was like 4 years old and learning about Jesus. So, learning about Jesus at 4 years old. And I love that he was aware at such a young age. So that was the most lovable moment for me, is that, when you can look back um, and see about, the times that you learned about Jesus and awareness of Jesus in your life. And so I thought that was the most loving moment for him to talk about it. And he made great humor. He made great humor about it, things of that sort. Okay, so guys, is this a research or a teachable moment? Okay, so this is a teachable moment, yeah. And the teachable moment basically is, I feel like, 'cause I know I need to do this too, like, slow down when you talk, because you want people to hear you. You want people to know the words that you're speaking, and you really want people to be like, hey, okay, identify with you. So I feel as though, like with me, I feel like sometimes I say things, but I don't take enough pauses, and people are like, okay, because I'm really saying things to you guys that you can identify with, and so let it sink in. And I think comedians need to do that too. Like sometimes I feel like they're rushing through their skit, or comedians are very sensitive, and so they really need to feel that the audience has warmed up to them, because I don't know, they might have had some bad experiences when they first started doing comedy, like, hey, get off the stage, blah this, blah that, yeah, hecklers and things. But this is an HBO special, so clearly no one's going to do that there. But I found out that comedians are kind of like, sensitive, and they kind of like feel as though, they need your support, So podcasters the same way, like, I'm like, okay, please subscribe to the channel. Tell me what you think sometimes, that helps me out, and yeah, so as far as this point number 5 goes, again, it's a 5.5-star review with Binti LOVE. And this is the teachable moment. Comedians need to slow down when they talk, again, and I do too. Volume plus slow speech is better for the listener. What did I just say? Volume plus slow speech. So for them to speak slowly, and have volume, I think that's important. I think that's for comedians also, because you got to let what you're saying sink in, definitely. But overall, this was really good. Like, again, this is on HBO Max channel, where you can definitely get a subscription if you don't have one. And it's a special of James Acaster. So, again, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I love comedy, because I feel comedy is so important, and for people to make you laugh in this world that's recently, it's great. And so he did a good job with that. He definitely made me laugh, and the different colors were like really good too. Yeah, so definitely a 5 out of 5 stars. And yeah, so make sure to subscribe, um, you know, to my channel. Please subscribe to the channel, and everything in the description, and things of that sort. Um, Make sure to do that too. Yeah. Okay, guys, this is the 5.5-star review with Binti LOVE, and thanks for watching.